was just a tug, just a happy harbor tug, and he came from a line of tugboats fine and brave. But it seems that little Toot simply didn't give a hoot. Though he tried to be good, he never could behave.
Yes, little Toot just couldn't seem to behave himself. He wasn't really bad, but it just seemed he was always getting into trouble. You see, little Toot was a tugboat, and a tugboat is supposed to pull the big ships around the harbor. That's what little Toot's father did. His name was Big Toot, and when he blew his whistle, it sounded like this. But when little Toot blew his whistle, it sounded like this. Funny little whistle, wasn't it? But little Toot didn't care. He went on his merry way, zipping around in the water, in and out among the big ocean liners, tooting his whistle and blowing round black smoke balls out of his smokestack. First the whistle, then a puff of smoke.
Won't you ever grow up, little Toot?
Won't you ever grow up, little Toot?
When there's work to be done, all you think of is fun.
Won't you ever grow up, little Toot?
Well, as I said, little Toot didn't really mean to be bad. And when he saw how hard Big Toot worked pulling the big ocean liners, he decided to help him. So, when he saw his father tugging away with a huge ship on the end of his rope, little Toot scooted around in back of the big liner and started to push. But he pushed on the rudder by mistake. And when the rudder turned, of course the big liner turned too, and, well, you can imagine the rest. The big ship got completely out of control and went round and round in circles and ran right over Big Toot, who went down under the waves and came up full of water, sputtering and gasping for breath. And then the big ocean liner, still out of control, crashed into the docks and went right up on the land and stopped in the middle of a street. That is, after knocking down a couple of buildings. Fire engines came running and there was much excitement.
Won't you ever grow up, little Toot? Won't you ever grow up, little Toot?
When you get into trouble, you get into it double.
Won't you ever grow up, little Toot? What a shame, what a shame. You've disgraced your father's name.
Won't you ever grow up, little Toot?
Well, up to that time, most of little Toot's troubles were little ones. But now he was really in big trouble. For steering an ocean liner right up onto the street and through a couple of buildings was no joke. So the police boats came and took little Toot away, out of the harbor and out into the big ocean, beyond the 12-mile limit. And they left him there, all alone, with instructions never to come back home. Out there in the ocean beyond the sight of land, little Toot spent a frightful night, tossed about by the big waves while the life buoys and sounds in the night made eerie noises. And then a storm came up. And little Toot was soaked all the way up to the top of his smokestack. Waves bigger than he was towered over him and crashed onto his head so that he sputtered and coughed with water. But suddenly, the sky was lighted with a rocket, the signal of a ship in distress. Forgetting his own fears, little Toot raced toward the spot where he saw the rocket. And in a flash of lightning, he saw a big ocean liner caught between two rocks. Little Toot believed he'd need help. And as he raced to the spot, he began puffing smoke balls out of his smokestack. Only he puffed them so that they spelled SOS in smoke in the sky. SOS means that someone is in trouble. Just as little Toot had hoped, the other tugs back home in the harbor saw the smoke in the sky and knew something was wrong. They tried to get out to help, but the storm forced them back. Little Toot was the only hope now. So instead of bucking the waves as the big tugs had done, he skimmed along the top of them, bouncing from one to the other. When he reached the ocean liner, the captain of the ship threw a big rope to little Toot. Then little Toot started to pull. And pull. And pull. he made it. The ocean liner was pulled free, and off little Toot went to take it into the harbor. And the other tugs who had seen the whole thing set up a tremendous racket with their whistles. That was their sound of approval for little Toot's daring rescue, and a welcome home to little Toot, who had certainly proven himself worthy of being a full-fledged tugboat. And incidentally made his father very proud of him, too.
Well, it seems you've grown up, little Toot. Toot, toot! You're a brave, brave little Toot. Can't you hear the cheering crowd? You have made your daddy proud. You are now a big Toot, little Toot. Yes, you're now a great big Toot, little Toot.
Once upon a time, in the middle of winter, 3 little kittens were left alone in the cold and snow, with no home and no place to go. One little kitten was black.
Wow, I'm cold.
One was brown.
Wow, me too.
And the third little kitten was gray.
Wow, I'm cold too, but I see a house in the basement window is open. Come on, let's go inside where it's warm.
So all 3 of the little kittens ran in the basement window and right up into the house. The house was nice and warm, and they felt so good, they began to sing.
1, 2, 3, 3 little kittens are we. I'm black, I'm brown, I'm gray. We are as happy as we can be. Oh boy, hurrah, hooray. Now there is one thing that we like to do, and that is to play till the day is through. We get into trouble when we're alone, especially when there is no one at home. 1, 2, 3, 3 little kittens are we. I'm black, I'm brown, I'm gray. We are as happy as we can be. Oh boy, hurrah, hooray!
Well, the kittens had a fine time because there was no one around to bother them. The lady and her little girl who lived there were upstairs, so the kittens had the whole downstairs to themselves. And as you can imagine, they were likely to get themselves in trouble. First, they went in the kitchen, and there the black kitten jumped up on the kitchen table and jumped right into the middle of a blackberry pie. The brown kitten stuck his nose in an empty milk bottle. And the gray kitten knocked over a box of pepper, which made him sneeze. And then all 3 of them jumped up on the sink and knocked over a whole pile of dishes. What a terrible mess! Well, after making a mess of the kitchen, the 3 kittens ran into the living room, and there they saw a piano. While the other 2 watched, the black kitten jumped up on the keys and started to walk on them. Then he ran all the way back across the keys. But what the little black kitten didn't know was that this was a player piano, a piano that could play by itself. It worked by electricity, and all you had to do was push the button, and off it would go. And that's just what the little black kitten did. He stepped on the electric button. And before he could get out of the way, the piano started to play, and the keys went up and down and bounced him all over the whole keyboard. And And then, while he was being bounced up and down by the piano keys, the little black kitten accidentally pushed a button that said faster, and the piano played just as fast as it could. That little black kitten was certainly glad when the piano had finished, and he jumped right down on the floor to join the others. But the kittens had made so much noise they had been heard upstairs.
Who is that down there? Who's making all that noise?
Run quick, somebody's coming.
Oh, it's you kittens. How did you ever get in the house? Just look at the mess you've made. All right, outside, all three of you.
Oh, no, Mother, please, they're so cute. If you'll just let me keep them, I'll promise to see that they don't get into any more trouble.
Well, the little girl's mother let her keep the kittens. She made sure they didn't get into any mischief. And, of course, the kittens were happy because they had a nice, warm home and could play and sing as much as they wanted. And they did.
1, 2, 3, 3 little kittens are we. I'm black, I'm brown, I'm gray. We are as happy as we can be. Oh boy, hurrah, hooray!
Hello, hello. This is your old friend, Bozo the Clown, with my pogo stick, but I call it an arrow hop. Now, when I jump on my arrow hop, it bounces me way up in the air, over the tops of houses, trees, and everything. In fact, I can bounce so high that it takes me right up with the birds. Come up with me and meet some of them whenever you hear me jump. Like this. There! Now I'm flying through the air. Look, that bird right over there is a robin. I know because she has a red breast. All robins have red breasts. Just listen to her sing. That's a very pretty song, Mrs. Robin.
Thank you. I'm singing because it's spring. I always sing when it's spring in the north. But when winter comes, I fly south where it's warm. But excuse me, I must go look for my favorite food, worms. Goodbye, Bozo.
Goodbye, Mrs. Robin. Well, I've taken another bounce on my arrow hop. Look at this odd bird. What in the world are you?
Oh, I am a funny little puffin. My beak is red, blue, and yellow. I live in the north and I like it there. I dive in the sea and I fly in the air. Here I go.
Hey, what's that music I hear?
That is my tail. You see, I'm a lyrebird. My tail is like a harp.
Can you play a song for me on your tail?
Sure. Listen.
Oh, that's my song. You play it very well. Now I'm going down again for another bounce. Goodbye, Mr. Lyrebird. Hey, look here. Oh, my goodness. What are you so mad about?
You'd be mad too if you were me. I'm a buzzard and I have no friends. No one likes me because I eat leftovers, and I don't do much good for anybody.
Well, why don't you change your ways?
I guess that I was born to be the kind of bird that I am. What is to be, I guess must be, so I'll have to stay what I am. So long as I have to be this way and I can have no friend, I'll continue to look as mad as I do as this song comes to an end.
Well, this time my arrow hop landed me by the bank of a stream. And look at that pretty bird. Excuse me, but what are you doing digging in the ground? I thought all birds build their nests in trees.
Oh, not at all. You see, many birds used to live in caves or under the ground. I still do. I'm a kingfisher, and I dig a home in the steep side of a stream bank. You see, that keeps me near the water, ready to dive for fish as it swims by there. I just love to eat fish. Don't you like fish?
Well, only if it's cooked. But I'm afraid I wouldn't like them raw like you eat them. Oh, what's that?
Oh, that's just old Hornbill blowing his horn. He's over there in the woods.
Well, I think I'll hop over and see him. Must you honk so much?
Of course, that's why they call me Hornbill. I live down in the tropics, where it is hot and damp. So I think that I shall leave you now, as I should be getting back.
He's sure the honkin'est bird I ever did see. Well, where did my arrow hop bounce me to this time? Oh, it looks like I'm in a cornfield. Well, a crow.
I was a crow, all right. And you see, I'm a-sitting right here on this scarecrow. Scarecrows are supposed to scare us crows away from the corn. But not me. I likes corn too well. I eats it right off the cob. Way down yonder in the cornfield, that's where I loves to roam. 'Cause corn is my favorite food, so that's where I makes my home. You. The cornfield is my home. Yeah, farmers sure don't like me, 'cause I eats their crops. I is a bad one, I is.
So I see. I think I'll leave you to your dirty work. You sound a little crazy to me.
Oh, no, I'm not crazy. Just a little cuckoo. In fact, that's my name, Cuckoo.
Well, why are you so cuckoo?
I don't know. I do all kinds of cuckoo things. Yeah. I lay my eggs in other birds' nests. And let other birds bring up my children. Oh, I guess I'm just a naturally born cuckoo.
Well, I guess this is as good a time as any to bounce out of here. Hello there. Say, you certainly are cute little things. I guess you're about the smallest birds in the world.
We are three hummingbirds. Our wings beat so fast they go. We feed on flowers like bumblebees and build little nests on the limbs of fruit trees.
Well, it's been very nice meeting you, little hummingbirds. Goodbye. My goodness me, what a beautiful bird.
Thank you. My name is Peacock. I am rather beautiful to see. In fact, I'm the most beautiful bird I know of. That's why I spread my feathers and strut around so that everybody can see me. I just don't know anyone as beautiful as I am. I'm just the most wonderful, most beautiful,
I know, but,
most scrumptious,
excuse
most
me,
sensational, most fascinating bird in the whole
Gee, I guess I can't get a word in
There's just nobody
edgewise.
that can even come close to me as
Goodness,
beautiful
such a
as I
conceited
say
bird.
you.
Never saw anything like it. Think I'll bounce myself right out of here. Who are you and what makes you talk so funny?
I'm a pelican, and my mouth is so big that I talk in 3 voices at once. Can you hear them? Whoa!
But why is your mouth so big?
It's big because it has to be, because of the way I use it. I merely dip it in the sea and then catch fishes in it.
Well, so you eat fish too? Well, that's very interesting. But I think I'll bounce up in the air and see if I can find a bird that doesn't eat fish. My, that's very pretty.
Thank you. I'm a Baltimore Oriole. Notice how my nest hangs like a basket. It's beautiful, but also very strong. Even the strongest wind won't blow it down.
Your babies sound hungry, Mrs. Oriole.
Yes. Please excuse me while I feed them.
Well, how do you do?
Well, how do you do?
And what kind of a bird are you?
And what kind of a bird are you?
I'm no bird, and besides, I asked you first.
I'm no bird, besides I asked you first.
Why, you're just saying everything I say.
Why, you're just saying everything I say.
Well, for goodness sakes, you must be a mockingbird, the way you mock me all the time.
Well, for goodness sake, you must be a mockingbird.
Oh, never mind, never mind. I'm leaving. This could go on forever. My, you make a lot of noise with your bill. You sound like you're eating soup.
Well, I'm a spoonbill. My bill is shaped like a spoon, but I don't use it to eat soup. I use it to get food in muddy waters. I dip my spoon in a stream until I find a fish. But when you eat your soup, I hope you don't sound like this. You see, it's all right for me, but it's not polite for people to make so much noise when they eat.
Well, now I've seen lots of birds, but nothing quite like you.
Of course not. And I bet you can't guess who I am.
Are you a flamingo?
No.
Well, a whippoorwill? Oh, I know. You're a cardinal.
No. You might as well give up. Bozo, to guess is just absurd. The reason you'll never guess my name is 'cause I'm a fictitious bird.
Well, no wonder I couldn't guess his name. There just isn't any such bird. He's just a joke. So no use wasting any more time on him. Well, you look more like a real bird. What's your name? Why, you, of course. What's your name? You! There's no one else around here. Why do you keep asking me?
I should think you'd know by this time what I am and my name too. For you should know that an owl is the only bird that goes hoo, 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 hoo.
Well, I should have known, Mr. Owl, but I've got to be bouncing on home now. Well, I landed back at my home, the circus, all right. And look what's here to greet me, Polly the circus parrot.
Welcome home, Bozo.
Well, thank you, Polly. And to all my friends who came with me, I want to say, I hope you liked our trip together, now that we've come to the end, and that you will be nice to birds, 'cause they're our feathered friends.